Well, overseas now, the Chinese President Xi Jinping is travelling to Kazakhstan today. It'll be his first trip outside China in almost 3 years. Joining us live from Taipei is the Australian's North Asia correspondent, Will Glasgow. Will, good to see you. Thanks for your time. What's the point of the trip? What is Xi trying to achieve?
Well, look, as you said, it's the first trip in more than, almost 3 years that Xi Jinping will take outside of China's borders. That's a lot to do with his precautions around COVID and his, the zero COVID policy that he's continues to have for the whole country, right? It's made him very cautious to leave. But what's the point of the trip? This one's a bit of a parade, right? In a month's time now, Xi Jinping's going for his third 5-year term as China's leader. That's an unprecedented thing to go into a third term. And so this trip is very much a sort of victory tour for the achievements Xi Jinping's done as he sees them, as the Chinese state sees them, in his first 10 years. And so Kazakhstan is very important because 9 years ago, almost to the day 9 years ago, Xi Jinping announced his huge infrastructure project, the Belt and Road Initiative. I call it an infrastructure project. It's much more than that. It's his signature foreign policy idea about using China's huge economy, its huge investment and trade, particularly in the Asian region and in Central Asia, even more so, to increase its influence in the world and China's status in the international system. So Kazakhstan, he's going there. The Chinese state media has made it very clear. He's made it clear in a letter that he's published in Kazakhstan media today, saying that he's going there to mark the success, the huge success of the Belt and Road. And so that's part one, that's today. And then tomorrow, the focus is really on security. Again, there's a sort of victory lap sense of all this. It's kind of amazing. I mean, tomorrow, he's going to meet with Vladimir Putin in Uzbekistan, along with a bunch of other Central Asian leaders. The focus really will be on security issues. And of course, this is all happening in the context of the Ukraine war, Russia's invasion of Ukraine now past 6 months. He's going to have a private meeting with Vladimir Putin and he'll get an update on that situation. Publicly, China's not saying anything about that. They don't want to talk about the Ukraine war. Their line is that China's sort of got no opinion. It's an honest broker. It wants it over, but it's not going to blame either side, except for America. It blames America. So tomorrow, what he's going to try to do in his meeting with Putin and others in Uzbekistan is champion China as the leader of a new security order. He calls it the Global Security Initiative. And so we'll hear more about that. That's what we'll hear publicly. But like I said, privately, we'll be talking to Putin about how's the Ukraine war going. And also Putin will want to hear updates from Xi on the latest in Taiwan. How does that situation?
Yeah, that'll be watched really closely right around the globe, no doubt about it. Most world leaders, though, I mean, they're all heading off to London for Queen Elizabeth's funeral. Did she get an invite to attend? Do we know it?
Well, we don't know if he got an invite. We do know there's no way in the world he is going to go, and there's no way in the world he would go if they gave an invite. And look, Buckingham Palace is not going to issue invites that he's not going to take. Chinese leaders don't go to funerals for leaders almost ever. The only times they've really done this is for comrades in arms, right? So when the leader of North Vietnam, Ho Chi Minh, died in the late 60s, the Chinese leadership went. When a communist leader in North Korea died, they've gone to those funerals. Back in the Soviet era, they would go to those funerals. They don't go to funerals for Western powers or for other leaders like this. Xi Jinping's much too busy doing his own thing. And the Chinese state would just see far too much risk in him going to that. They wouldn't want him just to line in a pew with other leaders, making him look like just one of the pack. Anything that makes him look anything but the leader of a room, they just wouldn't have a part of. And like I said, he's got this huge meeting in Beijing in a month's time. All the focus is on that. And, in Beijing's perspective, trivial matters like the passing of the Queen, they're just not going to get in the way with that. They're going to go ahead with their plans for that Beijing meeting. And for them, this meeting with Putin tomorrow is far more important than anything happening in London next week.
Yeah, you'd think that the palace would be pretty happy not to have global politics dominating such an important moment there in London as well. They're probably relieved that he won't be making the trip. Will Glasgow, really appreciate your analysis. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.